Why are people leaving Ghana
You're welcome
after
back
making
on
such a
Guide for
life-changing
Them.
move from
I
another
saw
country,
this
from another
video on
continent
YouTube,
to come here? I
and
want to break it
it
down.
seems
Hello everyone,
it
my name
may
is Ivy
serve
Prosper
as
and I tell stories from
guide for
Africa
them
and the African
family.
diaspora. And today I
Why
want to talk
Black
about something that I
Americans,
have
I
noticed
mean
over the
African
last,
Americans,
I'll say about the last
live
1
in
to 2
Ghana.
years
Please
when it
don't go
comes
away.
to
Stay tuned.
Ghana.
Watch the
We've
video
had so
to
much
the end
excitement of
and
people
know your
making the
part.
decision, especially people from the
This
African
woman is
diaspora making the
saying
decision
she
to
wonder
move to
why
Ghana.
Black Americans
And
or
it has been
African
some very
Americans
exciting
or
times
Africans in
while
the
seeing
diaspora
people
can't
make
stay in
these
Ghana,
moves that
but
have had
Chinese and
life-changing
Indians are
experiences for
able
them
to stay
and for
in
their
Ghana.
families. Because some
Thank you
people
for
move here
watching.
solo, and
This
some
is
people
Guide
move
for
here
Them.
with their spouses and with their children, with their parents, and some even with their grandparents. And it has been really amazing to see. At the same time, the other thing that I've noticed is that usually now it seems like within 1 to 2 years, the excitement and the vim that they had coming to Ghana is quickly lost and then they leave. Why is that? Why is it that people come here with big dreams and big hopes only to pack up and leave? Now, I'm speaking specifically about people from the African diaspora, people of African descent, Black people who come here and leave. And most of the time, it's because of a number of frustrations. At the same time, I ask, so why is it that people who are not of African descent, people like the Chinese, people like the Lebanese, some of the Indians that I see, come here and despite some of these very frustrations, they stick it out? I'm just posing that question right now as something to think about, why they stay, and some of them end up building successful businesses while our own people leave. It's a question to ask. Maybe some of you can put it in the comment section what your thoughts are on why you think this is. Now, I want to dive into the reasons why many people leave. First, I want to talk about the diaspora experience. Now, people coming from the US, from Canada, from Europe, Black people who are coming, a lot of time they're coming on emotion. They're coming on the excitement of coming back home to the motherland, returning somewhere where they feel they will have a sense of peace, a welcoming of people of their own tone. They feel that some of the traumas, some of the experiences that they've had for generations in places that they live now, they feel that coming to a place like Ghana or somewhere else in the African continent will be an opportunity for them to have a sense of peace and an ability to live a brand new, fresh life without all of the other frustrations that they experience where they're coming from. Now, the challenge with that is emotion only lasts for so long. After the excitement and the initial adrenaline rush goes down and the realities set in living in the country, that's when they start to question the decision that they've made. Now, it can be said that some people have unrealistic expectations when they come. And I think that's largely because people don't consider the fact that Ghana is a developing country. So if you come with expectations that it's going to be the same as the place you came from, you will be disappointed. Because of the fact that it is a developing nation means that there will be some infrastructure challenges that you will face that will make it a challenge for you when you're living here in comparison to where you came from. So that is something to consider before you make the move to Ghana. For those who are watching and haven't made the move yet, infrastructure challenges, people having high expectations people having high expectations and then they get disappointed. And it has largely to do with the fact that there are some infrastructural challenges. So the number one reason for leaving is having some unrealistic expectations that are not met. Number two, financial pressures. That is a thing in Ghana, financial pressures. A lot of people don't realize how much money they're going to actually spend when they move to a country like Ghana. Because the notion is, oh, well, $1 will go so far that the assumption is that you can live a lavish lifestyle coming with whatever money that you have, but not realizing that there are some expenses in Ghana that can end up making you spend just as much or more than where you're coming from. The top one is rent. People come and they don't realize if you move to the capital city of Accra, the rent can be very much like where you came from. People are renting for like $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month. Some people I know spending $2,000 a month to rent a place in Accra. And when you rent something that's that price, and sometimes you're not getting the same infrastructure where you're used to, it can be kind of like, why am I paying this kind of money? And I'm not getting all the things that I want. So that's one of the things, the high cost of living when you come to a city like Accra. But if you're willing to go outside of Accra, you can get a more comfortable lifestyle, spending less money. The rent is much lower. If you go to places like Cape Coast, Kumasi, even if you choose to go to the northern region, if you go to like Tamale, or if you go to Volta region, Kita, Hohohoi, if you go places that are less in rent, you can actually live a comfortable lifestyle because you won't spend as much money. However, most people, when they come, they want to have the same amenities that they're used to having when they came from another country. So when you want those amenities, you end up spending more. And some people actually even spend more because they want the exact same thing. So I know of people who will ship brands that they want to use. Like some people, some women especially, will ship beauty brands that they're used to, that they want to keep using. And so those things are a lot more expensive. And if you're shipping it, you're always spending on shipping to bring stuff in. Or some of those things are actually available here. There are shops that specialize in selling American products or UK products, but you will spend more money because those things have been imported. They have their import duties and all that kind of. Why is it that the foreign nationals like the Chinese, the Lebanese, the Indians are able to come to Ghana and have successful businesses? How is it that they're able to stay? Well, here are some of the reasons why they can become successful and endure the challenges in Ghana at a higher rate than our own people of African descent. They come with a different mindset. Unfortunately, it's because they do not have the same traumatic history that Black people have. They come with a very detached experience. They're not coming with an emotional experience that they're coming back home, that they're coming back to Africa. They usually come very detached and very much with an agenda because they've recognized some of the business opportunities that are in Ghana. They're not coming to look for a job. They're coming to create something which ends up creating jobs, which ends up making them money doing whatever it is that they've decided to do. And a large part of it is because they do not have the same emotional attachment that Black people will have to Africa because they do not have the same traumatic experience. They focus on building a network for business purposes. They're not focused on coming and having a good time solely. They are focused on business. And again, it goes back to what I said earlier, that they do not have the same emotional attachment. When people come here as Black people and you come to a country where you've not experienced being in a place where it's almost everybody's Black, that is something that can be emotionally overwhelming for some people. I'm not saying for all, but for some people, and from a lot of the interactions that I have had throughout the last decade with people of African descent who come to Ghana, that is a large part of the experience, is that emotional connection to being around people who look like you. So what can we do? As Black people, I feel like there should be some community economics going on. There should be some community backing, some community decision making when it comes to business. If we can work together collectively when it comes to finding opportunities, they can build when they come instead of feeling like you're all alone. Because I think that's part of the issue, is you come and you feel all alone. And I think I'm going to go back because one of the things is locally, a lot of local people don't understand some of the challenges people abroad have because they've never been exposed to what you have been exposed to when you lived abroad. Many of them have never felt what it's like to live in an environment where they can feel the hostility of racial injustice, or they feel the hostility of decisions being made because you're Black, that you're not getting opportunities and whatnot. Although they don't even realize that colonialism has left its impact on their country as well. There's a lot of things that have been left over in the continent of Africa as a result of colonialism, even though the countries have gained independence. There is a lot historically that has affected what it is today, and the mindsets and the education system. So there's a lot of, on both sides that are affecting some of these challenges of division between the communities. If somehow we can have some community collective where people can come together, or even when people come from the diaspora, and if they can work together to build something, become business partners, invest in something together, you both recognize, maybe you recognize, a certain fruit that grows here. You can, work on processing it into dried fruit or something. I'm just throwing something out in the air because there are things that we can recognize and we can work together collectively. But a lot of times people want to work in silos. They want to do things on their own, which makes it difficult because you're in a land that you're trying to navigate. You're trying to learn the system. So it's better when you can do it collectively as a team. So what's the call to action? Because like I said, it's like 1 to 2 years and people are packing up and they are going back. They are heartbroken. They may have lost a lot of money. They may feel like they made a big mistake and they're packing up to go back home. And so what is the call to action now? What is the call to action? Well, if you're thinking about coming to Ghana, think about the things that I've said in this video and prepare yourself. You must have a goal and a purpose. Try to avoid allowing emotion to make the decision when you're coming to Ghana. Yes, that emotion will be there because naturally as a person of African descent,